beautiful example of this. I had a client, her name's Brittany, and you can watch this happen for yourself in the Universal Love Story, which is a web series that I created that's on the Love Renegades YouTube channel. Brittany broke the law of control, and Brittany had it in her mind that she was not going to do online dating. And she had about a gazillion very reasonable, rational, points as to why she would not do this. And things get real heated in the law of control, and I take her on about how she was micromanaging the experience. It's like, you say you want this great relationship, but you're not like really able to do, you're choosing not to allow it in because this part of the process makes you uncomfortable when it's not even something you've done before. Like you have this all, yeah.
So the law of control for her was she needed control over how she was going to find this relationship, and it was only going to be in this one way. And this man would show up.
It was going to be organic and perfect, and you can watch us like have it out. Like, and I do not let her off the hook, and I've gotten feedback from people who've watched it. They're like, I was so mad at you for not. I'm like, Lauren, why do you keep pushing her? I'm like, 'cause I could see that this was something that was really getting in her way.
Got it.
Over a year later, Brittany is in a relationship with somebody that she met throughout that whole experience.
Okay. And it's not necessarily saying that she has to meet him online. It's just releasing that control in your heart of, it's going to look this way. My Prince Charming will be wearing a burgundy suit and have a pumpkin coach with 12 mice, the end.
Exactly. And it's like I told her, it may not be the online dating that brings him in, but it's your willingness to say, I might be scared and I might not like this process. However, my heart's open. I'm coming at it with a beginner's mind. When we take actions like that, we create space. We're vulnerable. And when you break the law of control, it's when you choose to lead with an open and courageous heart and be vulnerable in a very powerful way.
Yes. So what about the law of drama? The others kind of made sense to me, but what is the law of drama?
So the law of drama is one that I used to be best friends with this law of love. And in the law of drama, it's where, have you ever had an experience, like whether it was you, Laura, or it was some of your friends, where this person is like obviously like really emotional and triggered about something, but there's a point where their emotion lacks authenticity. It's like, this is just emotion for the sake of emotion. And it's all to like, let's create this fire over here so that no one can actually see what's going on over here.
That makes sense. Distract and divert.
Yes, distract and divert attention. And then it's like, oh, well, I guess it didn't work out, Yes. Yeah. So people who have like the law of drama as theirs are usually people who are really passionate and they're gifted with emotion in some way. And sometimes they're even charismatic. However, all of those things, their fear can come out as being emotional to the point where it's not supporting anyone. And it can, the law of drama can also turn up as just being a drama magnet. Like maybe you're not the instigator of drama, but you're so drama repressed that it's happening around you and you're constantly putting out these fires that these other drama queens are setting. And that's, of course, keeping you from the commitment that you made to yourself. So it's really creative, and maybe it sounds weird, but it's fun to notice these things happening. It's like, okay, it's time to break this law of love. Because with the law of drama, if somebody's just really in their stuff, and I'm all about expressing and, you know, acknowledging how you feel. That's very healthy. But I can tell, because I've done it before, when it's not authentic, and it's like,
right.
What's underneath all of this?
Right.
Like what's happening here? Like what's the real thing that we're dealing with?
Right. I can see that one rearing its ugly head in the workplace for a lot of people too, that will keep people from loving their career and loving their job. Just from my experience, it seems like things are flowing along, and then sometimes when somebody has not done their work, instead of authentically saying, I didn't get this done, I don't understand, I didn't have whatever, and just acknowledging I couldn't complete that project because of X, Y, and Z, it becomes this drama thing. I didn't have this, and this doesn't work, and you didn't do this, and nobody called me, blah, blah, blah. And it becomes this huge drama-laden scenario that could have been solved by somebody saying, the phone calls didn't work, and I didn't understand, and I haven't had a chance to clarify. Can I have another day?
It's so easy, right?
Yes.
And but when that law of drama is running your life, is when it's like you have to kind of look at your motivation. So if you're a drama queen and you're listening to this right now, I'm totally a recovering drama queen. So if you're listening to this right now, just ask yourself, like put on your imagination hat. I know you have a good one if you're a drama queen, and just say, like, what is my reason? Like, why am I doing this? Mm-hmm. And it's probably like, I'll share that, like, for me, like growing up, I was like always in trouble for things that I didn't do. So it's like, well, if I can like give somebody like a reason to be annoyed with me or mad at me, then I'm in control, you know, the situation. And so that's like that was like years and years of work to uncover.
That makes sense though, because it is control. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it all really, these laws of love, they're all rooted in fear, and a lot of fear is control. And I don't mean to make things, there is like a law of control, but it has its own like real flavor of dominance and control, as opposed to these other more covert types of things. So.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I'm thinking about an extended family member that I have, and I tend to like and want heart-centered relationships with people. And I have never been able to connect with this man. And I feel like all humans crave and desire heart-centered connection. He will always attack. He will spew negativity, and it gets me spun up. And then I act ridiculous because I'm all spun up defending myself because he's attacked, and it prevents the connection. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking he is probably terrified of not being liked. He's terrified of not being able to connect. He's terrified of dying alone. And instead of opening up and just relaxing, he exerts all this control. Your hair looks bad. You did this. I can't believe you did this. Why did you have chicken and not pizza? And then it gets everybody in such a tizzy, we can't connect. But you're right. It is his control based on his fear that he'd rather push all of us away and not be hurt than open his heart and risk getting hurt.
Wow. Thank you so much. Like I think since like the time that we're not filming this, but recording this, there we go.
Right.
At the time we're recording this, it's right after the holidays. So a bunch of people are in probably that reflection about, ooh, this person that I have a hard time connecting with. And what I can say to that is, like, one way that we can break the law of drama in this situation is to have the empathy and compassion that you just so beautifully exhibited, and to really use that to say, okay, so that is the truth of what's happening. And I don't want to feed into this guy's illusion of drama. So you know what? This person's going to get very little emotional energy from me. Mm-hmm. And if I have to spend time with them, if I have to, you know, if I choose to, because that makes more sense than not doing it. That's another way to look at it. Then, you know, that person doesn't get your emotional energy, and you just you're like, I'm not going to spin out or take the bait.
Right. Yeah, it's taking the bait because that's the distraction. And then we go from this one-on-one, hey, Merry Christmas, to blah, and nobody needs that.
Yeah, just when someone like that starts acting like that, it's good to just kind of remove yourself and say, I get that you're upset. We're not going to do this right now.
No, exactly.
You know, it's just like, we're not, easier said than done. So we can all set the intention now to just, when you know you're going to be dealing with somebody tough, get grounded, remember what's true. This person is afraid, and I'm not going to feed into this fear by taking the bait.
Right.
No emotion, no drama from me feeding into their drama, because that's what they want.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I wanted to jump now to the next law of love, and just share my little personal experience with that. And then we can go on to the rest of them. But the law of sacrifice. You know, when I just have to tell our listeners, when I first met Lauren, I thought, yay, this is so cool, but I don't need her. I have love in my life, and it's great, and that's wonderful, but I don't need any help with love, blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's great, but that's not for me. And then I was looking through her laws of love, and I saw the law of sacrifice, and I read it, and I went, oh, yeah, I do need her. I've been living that law. And that law is basically, and again, you can, correct me on some of this, but that law is basically, in order to be loved, I have to sacrifice myself for you. And I know a lot of listeners out there are parents, whether to kids or to animals, or oftentimes we parent our spouses as well, or we parent our own parents as they're aging.
Yes.
And it becomes, I am the good daughter if I spend every day with my mom. I am the good mom if I do everything for my kids. I am the good wife if I lay my husband's clothes out and cook him 3 meals a day. Those are all of those ideas in our head that are basically what makes me worthy. I am only worthy of love if I make the beds, clean the house, vacuum, whatever it is. And what I thought was significant about that for me was not only my own understanding of the messages in my head of what I have to do to be worthy, but generationally, how I saw my mom sacrifice herself as she took care of her mom, how I saw her sacrifice herself for her husband, for me. And then removing that a generation further, how my grandma sacrificed herself. And I can just see that, line of sacrifice going back. And it's interesting because some of it is generational. The 50s housewife was a very self-sacrificing being. But it does come down through the lineage. And wow, I believed in the law of sacrifice. And I'm working on not believing in the law of sacrifice anymore, thanks to Lauren.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much this is the first I'm hearing of this. So I love it. And it's so courageous to share, is, being the law of sacrifice, and sacrifice is something that we're taught that to be good and to be worthy, that we do need to sacrifice. And what I would say for anybody who is acknowledging that this is a theme that plays out in their life, or maybe somebody who might feel a little like triggered by what Laura and I are talking about right now, if you are sacrificing yourself, what you're doing is you're showing the universe they all matter more than me. And when you do that, because everything's guided on our beliefs and our thoughts, we attract situations where everybody does have the illusion of mattering more than we do. And what happens to us is we end up feeling drained. We feel burnt out. We have people who demand so much. Like, we don't have people who are givers. We have like those takers, those energy vampires. start to feel stressed and bitter. And then that loving person